Tensions in Eastern Europe have significantly escalated following an incident where 3 Russian MiG-31 jets reportedly entered Estonian airspace for 12 minutes, prompting an immediate and robust response from NATO. This incursion triggered the scramble of Italian F-35 fighter jets stationed as part of NATO's Baltic air policing mission to intercept the Russian aircraft. The gravity of the situation was further underscored by NATO's decision to initiate Article 4 consultations, a mechanism used when a member state feels its territorial integrity, political independence, or security is threatened. This event is not an isolated incident but rather part of a discernible pattern of increased Russian military activity near NATO borders. Over recent months, similar incidents have been reported involving other NATO countries, specifically Poland and Romania, suggesting a deliberate and calculated strategy by Moscow to exert psychological pressure on the alliance's eastern flank. These repeated incursions are perceived as probing action, testing NATO's response time, coercions, and resolve. The nature of the aircraft involved high-performance MiG-31 interceptors indicates a sophisticated operation rather than a navigational error. Such aerial maneuvers are designed to send a clear message. Russia maintains a significant military presence and is willing to assert itself in regions it considers within its sphere of influence, directly challenging the sovereignty and airspace of neighboring NATO member states. The Russian Ministry of Defense has vehemently denied any violation of Estonian airspace, dismissing the claims as unfounded. This denial is consistent with Moscow's historical response to similar accusations, often attributing such incident to routine training exercise or technical malfunction, while rarely acknowledging any deliberate breach. However, NATO and its member states maintain that they possess irrefutable evidence of the incursion, including radar tracks and visual confirmation from their intercepting aircraft. The conflicting narrative highlights the deep mistrust that permeate relations between Russia and NATO, making the escalation and transparent communication exceedingly difficult. From NATO's perspective, these actions are clear provocations that threaten regional stability and demand a firm, unified response. The continuous pattern of these alleged violations across multiple NATO countries, Poland, Romania, and now Estonia, suggests a coordinated effort by Moscow to gauge NATO's reaction capabilities and potentially exploit any perceived weaknesses in its collective defense. The psychological impact on Eastern European nations, many of whom have historically grievance and ongoing anxieties regarding Russian assertiveness, is significant. It reinforces their call for stronger NATO presence and robust security guarantees, as they feel directly exposed to Moscow's increasing military posture. The situation places NATO in a delicate and precarious position, requiring careful strategic consideration to avoid both appearing weak and inadvertently triggering a larger conflict. NATO faced a critical balancing act in its response to these escalating Russian maneuvers. Responding too lightly or indecisively risks emboldening Russian President Vladimir Putin, potentially giving him the confidence to push further and test the alliance resolve in more significant ways. Such a scenario could undermine the credibility of NATO's Article 5 Collective Defense Clause, which states that an attack on one member is an attack on all. Conversely, an overreaction by NATO carries the significant risk of an unintended escalation, potentially transforming isolated incident into a broader and more dangerous confrontation. The alliance must carefully calibrate its response to demonstrate strength and unity without unnecessarily provoking a direct military conflict with Russia. This requires a multifaceted strategy involving enhanced air policing, increased intelligence gathering, and robust diplomatic efforts to de-escalate tensions through clear communication channels. The presence of advanced aircraft like the Italian F-35 in the Baltic air policing mission is a tangible demonstration of NATO's commitment to defending its members' airspace, projecting both deterrence and readiness. However, the political dimension is equally crucial. NATO member states must maintain a unified front, ensuring that Moscow does not perceive any cracks in the alliance solidarity. The internal discussion within NATO, particularly through Article 4 consultations, are vital for coordinating a coherent and effective response that addresses the security concerns of its Eastern European members while managing the broader geopolitical risk. With Eastern Europe rattled and regional tensions undeniably on the rise, the world watches anxiously to observe how far Russia will continue to push its assertive military posture and whether NATO will be able to maintain its cohesion and deter further provocation without triggering a wider conflict. The stakes are incredibly high as the geopolitical landscape in Europe remains volatile and unpredictable. The ongoing pattern of aerial incursions combined with large-scale military exercise near NATO borders and increasingly aggressive rhetoric points to a long-term strategy by Russia to reassert its influence and challenge the existing security orders. This strategy often involves hybrid warfare tactics, including disinformation campaigns and cyber attacks, alongside conventional military demonstrations. The question of whether NATO will ultimately crack under this sustained pressure is a central concern for policymakers and analysts globally. The alliance's strength lies in its unity and its commitment to collective defense. Any perceived division or hesitations could be exploited by adversary. The challenge for NATO leadership is to reassure its Eastern European members of unwavering support while simultaneously preventing a direct military confrontation. The diplomatic channels, although strained, must remain open to manage incidents and prevent miscalculations. As the situation unfolds, the global community is keenly aware that the decision made by both Russia and NATO in the coming weeks and months will have profound implications for European nations' security and international stability, determining the trajectory of East-West relations for years to come. If you have made it this far, congratulations, you have unlocked the truth. I want to ask you a question. Are we seeing a new Cold War dynamic, a shift toward more frequent but limited confrontations, or the decline of international norms? Join the debate. We want to hear your insightful predictions on where this is all heading. Share your big picture analysis with our community in the comments. Like the video, and most importantly, subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.